and just be here from the back to a new Simpsons review. If y'all didn't see the last one, go and check it out. And this is another good episode. So the episode starts with Bart and Milhouse looking at these comics and saying this thing here and exactly what it is and the almighty dollar. And obviously Homer is on with it too, and Marge thinking that it's a bad kind of way to laugh and stuff. And yeah, Moe's not getting any real good business today, so he's closing this shop early, and when everybody is about to come in, they all leave. And Homer pretty much tells him that he's going to be heading home, obviously, and tell him that he wants him and Moe to go somewhere, which is the bowling alley. Yep, they go to the bowling alley. And of course, Oppo is there too. And Homer's got an idea of forming a team, which he's of course one member short. So he picks Otto. And of course, Marge obviously kind of not getting in place with this as usual. And of course Homer obviously not being good with it. So Bart obviously just wearing a sweater and just takes it down because Mrs. Krabappel wonders what it says, and it's down with homework. And everybody's all just going crazy, and Ralph's just eating paste. And yeah, Principal Skinner's about to get pretty much a good score until all the kids just start running on his head. And Principal Skinner obviously really disgusted with Bart. Yeah, pretty much disgusted with Bart. And pretty much gonna take some full-on measurements, pretty much, as I guessing the way he kind of puts it. So he pretty much tells Bart to go home wearing that. And Smitter is obviously getting, I'm guessing this like pedicure, telling him to keep the rag with him while Smithers goes to get more. And Homer comes to Mr. Burns' office wanting to get like a check or something for the bowling team, which Mr. Burns imagines him as the Pillsbury Doughboy, which he keeps saying. He keeps touching Homer, thinking that he's the Pillsbury Doughboy, making him laugh. And yeah, Homer basically wants some money for the bowling, which, yeah, he obviously does. And Homer tells his fellow employees, if you want something, a favor done from Mr. Burns, go ahead and do it now. And meanwhile we see that night, Homer and Moe, Oppo, and Otto having the Pen Pals as their team name, and going up against basically Krusty and the News Reporters team, which Otto rolls the ball, hits some pins, making it a split, which they keep calling and cheering, go Oppo go, go Oppo go, which pretty much they already won that match. So they start spraying the root beer, and they start squeezing the root beer back into the beer back into the bottles. And Homer obviously telling Marge all about it, and she's like, "Oh, good for Otto," when he mentions Otto, which Principal Skinner then announces that everybody's going to be wearing these special kind of uniforms. Yeah, they're in school. And of course everybody's throwing paper at Bart. And yeah, everybody's not pleased about it. how I can tell. And of course, Lisa gets thrown stuff too. And yeah, things are gonna go pretty good for them. Mo obviously bowling and gets a strike. And yeah, we see Selma and Patty's team, obviously, that they're going up against. Oppo scores with the police and the chief of police and pretty much letting one of the criminals bowl, and he pretty much escapes. So they forfeit, and pretty much Homer and his team are in second place against the Holy Rollers. And yeah, they're looking at the trophy, and they have to beat the Christian team, pretty much. The Holy Rollers, with Ned and his wife, and the pastor and his wife. Which they bowl, knock down all the pins, and he says, "Hey God, it's me," and then just knocks the pen down, pretty much. And Homer gets zapped. And Bart pretty much complaining about the whole suit, and he can't fit his slingshot in his pocket, and Lisa also complaining too, and them telling that, having to get off the phone and telling them why in the world are they dressed like that, and pretty much telling them that, pretty much giving the speech like not making them do it. And Mr. Burns obviously wondering why he made a check of bowling. And then it wasn't actually the first one he read, and then he realized that it was a check for bowling, which he tried to think of who it could have been that he was seeing, and yeah, pretty much the perfect match was, yeah, Homer Simpson. And we see these women that they're going up against. Homer pretty much bowls, and they pretty much beat them, and Mr. Burns comes, and surprise, surprise, he tells Homer that he wants to join his gang. Yep, he wants to join. He wants to be on the team. Which Mo is telling Homer if this is a good idea, and of how old Mr. Burns is, and pretty much. So Homer wants to try to give him a shot. He wants to give Mr. Burns a shot. And if he sucks, then they'll just kick him off the team. Which, yeah, they replace Otto with Mr. Burns. Which, yeah, he's not doing very well. Like, he can't even push the ball. Like, come on, Mr. Burns. And, of course, he makes Smithers go and kick the pins over. Which, yeah, Homer says that he's in. Even though he didn't bowl correctly. Which all the students pretty much all miserable like while they're walking to class. And Mrs. Krabappel pretty much trying to move her desk, and Bart wanting to slingshot her, but he just can't do it. Just because of the suit. Those suits are changing their personalities pretty much. Oppo pretty much trying to get this reward, and the crying, and of course Mr. Burns still trying to bowl and getting gutters, and them saying that it's the championship game pretty much. Then on the next game, which, yeah, everybody's not really excited about it, and yeah, all the kids are just all miserable and acting strange, and yeah, even the guy is even surprised with with Skinner that everybody's all surprised, and of course it's all raining and they're having a laugh about it, and yeah, the suits are all melting into these rainbow colors, and they're starting to get back to normal and starts to go crazy everywhere, and yeah, obviously, Skinner pretty much getting in trouble. And he's like, his mother's left at the park, and he's like, now this I gotta say. And then Homer pretty much telling Marge that Mr. Burns is going to ruin everything of their winning streak. And she pretty much guarantees that, not literally that they're going to win, pretty much. And he built this trophy with this, and pretty much goes and flushes it down the toilet. Which, yeah, it pretty much breaks the toilet. And the Holy Rollers then come up, and Mo pretty much got an idea to make Mr. Burns not bowl. And he pretty much is going to act like a crook. And when Mr. Burns obviously is coming, he's saying that he's probably not going to be able to bowl because of his leg. And Mo hits his leg and pops it right back into place pretty much for him to be able to bowl. Which, yeah, Mo pretty much failed. Yeah, they're pretty much saying that if they don't kick Mr. Burns out, then they're out. So he then has to tell the truth to Mr. Burns that before he can even finish, Mr. Burns shows them pen pals, bowling shirts, and everybody's all touched. And he tells Homer that he was going to say something, and Mr. Burns, or they say that he was out of the team, but everybody's like, oh, he's just joking around. Which, yeah, they all celebrate by all having a laugh. And yeah, it's time for the bowling, which, yeah, Mr. Burns still sucking. His ball is still going down the goal while Ned, his wife, the pastor's wife, and then the pastor himself pretty much bowling right before Mr. Burns' ball can even get to the pin. Yeah, they pretty much celebrate while his just goes into the gutter as usual. Yeah, everything seems like it's going to go downfall with pretty much Mr. Burns. But everybody else seems to be doing strikes quite well, except when it's Mr. Burns, which they have one ball left pretty much. One shot left, which he bowls, and it actually seems like it's going to do it. It hits the pins. Everybody's all shocked. And when Oppo accidentally destroys the machine, the crane machine, it makes a rumble sound when it collapses and knocks the pins over. And Homer's team managed to win. And Otto pretty much gets the toy that he was wanting to get. And when they go and get the trophy, Mr. Burns takes it, saying that he was just it's like he was just using them for his own good, pretty much, which he says farewell to them. And Homer and his team are like, well, some people could change and some people can't change from it. Which is like that Mo makes a good point of saying that they don't need that trophy, and because they got something better, their teammates, and they all just celebrate pretty much. Which, meanwhile, they're at Mr. Burns' mansion, and Homer breaking in to get the trophy, which the dogs pretty much chase him, and they pretty much tell him to climb up, which, yeah, he pretty much gets attacked by the dogs. And they just pretty much make a run for it while Homer gets nulled. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed. If you like, subscribe and share. Which one notifications turned on so you see anything new, and let me know what you all think. And again, another great episode.